Hmm. Okay, we're live. Let me play some music here for you.
Two real cryptid legends doing what they do, bringing information for me and you. Ron Moorhead and his Sierra Sounds, Daryl Denton, the Tennessee Bigfoot Man, along with Michelle Desrochers, bring adventures across this land. So much information brought to you each week, actively out there looking as the truth they seek.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Shawn Kelly. Happy Easter to everybody. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 hours on Sunday night and 1 hour on Tuesday nights. Well, it's a beautiful day, I guess. It got cold again. Hey, John, good to see you. Everybody, there's a lot of people in the chat room. Welcome to Into the Night. We're just going to get right to it. So last week was my first 2-hour show. What happened was Don't Whistle at Night, who used to follow me, moved to Saturday nights now. So I got a 2-hour show. And I've been waiting forever for this 2-hour show. Because I can do things what I need to do, like having round tables. And tonight, man, they're the best. They're the best. They are Bigfoot investigators, and they have some awesome stories. They got some great evidence, and they're my friends. And that's what makes it a lot better. So when I found out I got the 2-hour show, I was like extremely happy, and so I just got to bring them on, and we can talk Bigfoot and whatever else they want to talk about. But let's see, who do we got? Oh, we got Mr. Wojo. The
Hey,
boom.
what's happening, Shawn? Oh, what's going on,
Hey,
everybody out
what's going on? Then we got Richie B.
Richie B, that's me. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hi.
And we got Mr. Tim Vogel.
I'm on the Sean Kelly show. I got to be nice.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Tim Vogel, how are you?
How you doing, Timmy? And then
I'm
we got
doing
the
well.
Squatch man from Mississippi. How are you guys? What's going on?
What's up, Scotch man?
What's going on, fellas?
Let's go.
How y'all doing?
there. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Yeah, so how's everybody been? Everybody doing good? It's been a while since I had you all on. So I'm like really excited about it because I got 2 hours with you guys. And we got a lot to talk about. Now here's the first thing that I want to ask you guys.
Nope.
Recently, I like to follow Bigfoot people like you guys, and I like to follow other Bigfoot people. But how come there has not been a lot of things with the Bigfoot community? I do not see anything out there besides what Richie put up. You know what I mean? Did the Bigfoot community go and take a hiatus or what?
They went a little crazy with that Ohio stuff for a little while. That was about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's in their own areas. It's kind of weird. Nobody's really, I don't know. There's not a lot of crisscross going on. You know what I mean? It used to be I have to fly to Alaska to find Bigfoot, but now you just have to live in Massachusetts.
There you go. Maybe it just means there's not a lot of them. Or maybe wintertime, there's less movement, less activity.
Good point.
There's a lot of
questions on that.
Scotsman?
yeah. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of people talking about them.
Maybe there's a reason why.
What do you think? Give me a reason.
Squatch man's fault.
Yeah, I called all the armchair critics out. That's what I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
What
Good
What
job.
are the armchair critics? Can you share
you know
a
that's
little
some type
bit
of
of that?
people, man, that want to go hunt Bigfoot and sit in their chairs and watch it on YouTube and go to Walmart and buy a damn rifle and go out and hunt him. Yeah, good luck.
Hey, Donna.
Yep.
Good to see you, hon. Wojo,
Donna.
how about you, man?
Donna Opus.
I mean, how come?
Yeah, Shawn. Again, like there's been like reports in Ohio and activities of the meteorites, all that. Yeah, I just think that it's not. There's a lot of sightings, but there's no, it's just nothing to really follow up on, like pictures and. But there are a lot of people out there from Florida all the way to Ohio to there's a lot of places, Arizona and stuff like that.
Right.
But here in Massachusetts, it's just been very active, and that's why we just keep stay stationary and just keep just keep investigating in our same areas and documenting and keeping the data going. That's what's important.
And that's
Yeah,
all.
Jump
locally,
around,
we just
stay
had
stationary.
we just had a mountain lion report here in Western Mass just 2 days
Oh,
ago.
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Hey,
we're
my
talking
brother
to
came up with a question. We got our first question, dudes. I know from Donna and other people that there are different clans. My brother wants to know: are there different characteristics of the clans of Bigfoot?
Yes. I mean, as far as the research I've done, yes, and the recent discovery that we've had, yes. Although, to kind of validate that with Tim's brother Eric, he doesn't own a watch. He says that he saw one very similar to the ones that we posted and discussed, last night. So I always say geographically, everybody's different, right? The food sources are different, the sun angle's different, the weather pattern's different. You don't see too many, pardon me, Eskimos living in Haiti and vice versa. I mean, everybody's different. I mean, if you're seeing them as a like a blue jay cookie cutter bird type, DNA process, you're probably going to be disappointed, I guess. You know what I mean? I have not ever heard of too many of them the same. You know what I mean? Squatch Man, say the name. Whose picture is this? Do you know whose picture that is? Can you see the picture here?
Ernie DeVoe.
Yeah, Ernie DeVoe. guys, been like a brother.
You just had to throw that in there, huh, Richie?
Yeah, you know what? Well, you're gonna learn about me real quick, but yeah. So
I love you, brother.
And then the picture we have is completely different, but they both have human-like features.
Yeah.
Right? So think about that, right? So if they have human-like features, and any DNA that they have found has supposedly, I haven't read a chart, has certain percentage of human DNA, right? So if you're gonna have any kind of human DNA, you're gonna have different features. That's just the way it is, unless you're talking about a cookie cutter blue jay type creature, which I don't believe we are.
But you gotta remember with a squatch, man. Do you believe squatches are inbred? Absolutely.
Oh wow! I imagine they would have to be.
Have to be.
Right? Hell yeah! I get that.
Wow.
Yeah, matter of fact, is what was it? BMR has one that looked really inbred. The one that he saw. I don't know if you know Bigfoot Michigan Rob, but he had one. The one that he
I know Rob.
Yeah, the one that he saw was absolutely something was wrong with it. I mean, if you call it wrong, I don't know. They call it whatever existence, but it was definitely different. There was some types of deformities there of some sort, maybe through that incest or
right.
Or even possibly Down syndrome. I don't know. You know what I mean? It was all these different looks,
I have one I'm following now, man. I've been following since a juvenile. His name, I call him Benny because I was listening to Benny and the Jets when I found him. And
Benny and the Jets.
I've been following him for about 10 years. And he's different. He's he's not retarded, but he's different. He's more like Down syndrome type, He's moody.
He's moody.
Yeah.
He's very moody.
Even terminology goes by geographics, guys. That's just say.
I'll tell you this, brother. He'll get up, man. If you ain't watching, I'll tell you that. He's moody.
I can actually understand that.
And this is a juvenile? Squatch Man?
He was a juvenile. He was a juvenile when I started following him. He was about 5 foot high.
How tall is he now?
Well, maybe 4. He was about 4 feet tall when I met him. When he let me see him, then we got 6, 7, 8 months. He got to where he'd come around me about 20, 30 yards. He wouldn't let me get no closer. But I've been following him for 10 years or longer now. He's about 8 foot.
8 foot?
He's about 8 foot now.
Wow. How about you, Tim? Did you see any? Have you seen any Bigfoot?
Mine was I had 3 sightings actually. And they were far distances. One was through an infrared flare at 100 yards, but a dozen people saw it walking on a log, and we had it recorded on the flares and stuff like that. The other, my wife and I saw what we believe to be the white Bigfoot in the Cobble Mountain Reservoir, where this white Bigfoot, big white object come walking out of the tree line, and there was a drought that year, so they had to walk, or it had to walk down to the water line, which is probably a 100-foot walk to the water line because of the drought. This thing walked down, and it simply stood up and walked back to the woods. And when we watched it do that, and when I tell the story, I said we never got a profile shot of that creature doing anything. In other words, if it was a deer or a bear or a moose, it would have walked down to the creek or the water. It would have finished its drink, and it would have turned broadside to turn around to walk back to the woods. And it never did that. It just simply stood up, and from the distance we saw, something human shaped, could have just spun around and walked back without noticing it. But it was no doubt a ginormous white creature type thing. And my wife noticed it. So that was our second one. And then the third one was we were delivering a cradle to my brother. and we were just dropping it off, and we were on a place called Balance Rock and Balance Rock Road, and there's a state park, and this was a roadside thing. You know, we'd been past this park for years, and I looked over in the parking lot, and all of a sudden I told Eric was driving, and I said, "Hey, dude," I says, I think they just they either put a Squatch silhouette cutout out there, or I just saw a Bigfoot." And he's like, "No way." And I'm like, "Yeah, turn around, turn around." So he wings it around, and we go back, and sure enough, this thing is gone. But what drew it to me was it was a typical Bigfoot cutout, but this one turned its head, and that's what caught my attention. So he's coming through.
Oh, do I hear your brother coming through now? There he is.
Yeah, he's making his way.
Making his way in. Glad you could make it, Eric.
Hello, hello.
Hello,
How's
Eric.
everybody doing?
Hello,
All right,
Eric
brother.
Vogel.
Good to see you. It's about
I'm not used to him on that side. Could you just mirror that for me?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with this. My OCD is gonna be off the charts. Chats.
If there's anybody out there
So that
who
was
has any
mine.
questions. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nope, that's good.
Everyone's saying hello to Eric now. Good to see you guys.
Hello, everybody.
Everyone's happy to see Eric. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Wow, they're all in. Look at all this. I'm really loving
Nice.
this. This is great. I love this. But if there's anybody out in the chat room that wants to ask these fine gentlemen any questions, feel free to do so. Honestly, feel free to do it. But yeah, so I have never seen. Oh, Wojo, how about you? Besides what we're going to show later on in the show, have you ever met one?
Have I ever met one? No, but I have seen something. Leap from a tree, a very dark shadow that I can't explain. But all I can say is that I know what I saw out in these woods. We've had, so I can't quite, I will not say I actually saw one, but I did see something. But I will say this, that we hear them walking around. We hear them whooping, mouth popping, clicking. They are around us, and all I can say is the communication is second to none, like unbelievable. So
Sweet.
yeah, so that's we've had like 4 bluff charges where the tree line was shaking and you can hear high mass branches breaking and what have you, and then like you're just waiting for him to pop out like the Kool-Aid guy, but no, you can hear heavy footsteps, 1, 2, 3, and then complete silence. Which I've been a hunter most of my life, and I'll tell you, I've been spooked by a moose 12 feet away and what have you, but that scared me. But these bluff charges was second to none. It was scary because the energy behind in these woods, and when you have like 2 to 3 inches in diameter snapping before your eyes, like they're just bulldozing, and then it's complete silence. Yeah, it's pretty scary. What's behind
That's the Bridgewater Triangle.
behind the curtains, if I call it.
Okay, so when I had you guys on last time with Richie and Wojo, you were talking about the lights. What are the lights? Are they bright orbs or are they UFOs? And this question's going to Tim and the Squatch Man too, and Eric. Can you tell about the lights that you see out in the woods?
Oh yeah. Well, the lights at first were just like lights, and it just took forever. We were out there forever. We're actually, April is the month where we actually been in this particular research zone 2 years. It's connected to my property where all my incidences first started. I actually didn't know I saw one until 6 years later when through the phone. But we've had them run by us a couple of times, like really hard through the woods, crashing through the woods. I've watched them kind of, I call it skate between the trees, man. They just, whoop, they're gone, man. It's like almost no motion, just whoop. But then we started building up to the lights in this particular area. And we didn't know. We figured they were the watchers. There was illuminating eyes. We know we saw those. And now we have this kind of plasma substance that behind the lights, we believe are star people, that we have plenty of, pictures that you can make out for yourself. You can see the shiny skin behind it. You can see the eyes. The VOGELS have seen it. My audience has seen it. YouTube saw it and basically threw me off. Took away my monetization, but yeah, it was just that it's that graphic, and I probably have a few of those you could pop up sometime if you want. And again, I don't want to hijack the show, but there's a lot of different things I'm talking about, and the lights are definitely one of them. A lot of people see orbs with Bigfoot. I have not seen orbs with Bigfoot. Now, I did paranormal investigating for a decade, so I dealt with a lot of orbs. These are different than orbs, what we're dealing with. As a matter of fact, what you will show later is a light, and you'll see the rest afterwards. So it's pretty cool to have the two things in one photo, kind of debunking a lot of myths, or what people call myths. They're not a myth, it's real. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Man. How about you, Squatch? Squat? Oh, where'd he go?
Yeah, they always leave after my comments. It's weird.
No.
The VOGELS are the only ones that stuck around.
Where'd you go, Squatch? Shit.
He lost.
Oh,
I think he's in his car. He wasn't moving, but
All right. So your question was on lights. We witnessed orbs. We have witnessed orbs.
You have?
We witnessed them within the same context of the story of Bigfoot, within the same, two different stories, both containing orbs. And so there's something to be said about lights, orbs, something to that effect. There's definitely.
I think the two go together somehow. Yeah. My thing is they're flesh and blood until they're not, and that's why you only get one or two tracks. How can an 800 pound thing turn around and only leave one track?
I agree with you, and that was my other follow-up question. These lights, could they be portals to where they jump into another dimension?
Well, I thought about that last night after seeing what I saw, and it was like, was it coming in or going out? And that's why we saw the light. In other words, it was flesh and blood while it was there, and then all of a sudden it realized Richie saw it, and now it's gone, or it was leaving. And that would have been the orb. I mean, who's to say? But I mean, I really thought about that. It drove me crazy yesterday, Richie.
But last night after the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drove me crazy. I was up all night thinking about that. And
I told you.
I think that's how the lights work. That's the way I look at it. I mean, somebody sees it differently, but
it's
why else would
research? You got to keep all those avenues and all those thoughts open.
You have to. Yeah, you have to.
Because boy, there are so many forks in the road.
People watched it happen.
So many.
We all watched it happen right there. So. I mean, the thing that gets a little muddy is we tend to humanize what we see, and it may not be necessarily what we
I
think.
wouldn't go that far.
So, what he's got is some pretty cool stuff, and the lights has been an ongoing thing in that area. I don't know if it necessarily has anything to do with the Bridgewater Triangle. Or that specific area, maybe that has something to do with portals or energy.
Or it could have everything to do with it.
Who knows? Maybe that's where Squatch Man ended up.
No, he's right here. He just popped right back in again. Hey, Squatch Man.
There you
go. Yeah, man. What the hell are you doing to us, man?
We got an overheat problem here, man.
All righty.
No, I'm busy go get my laptop.
Got it.
Okay. Have you ever seen orbs around Benny?
No.
Who, me?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the lights?
I'm listening.
Around...
What? I got a white one over here behind me. If you check my page out, I got a picture of him crouched down between the trees. He's an old one.
Okay. Now, are there any orbs around them whenever you're going out and looking for them? No orbs?
No. I've never seen any.
Okay. Okay.
Not down
That's
here. I mean,
maybe it's the South Carolina part or the Mississippi part, you know what I mean, where the more it's probably too damn hot and humid down there for orbs to come out, you know what I mean?
That or maybe it's the stress level that creates the energy. You know, it's
That
weird
is
stuff
true.
we're talking about. It's the
Yeah.
woo. It's, you know, we're coming up with reasons why we don't get a dozen tracks from an 800-pound animal. And so you
True.
got to come up with a reason why you don't, because we've got tracks. We've all made casts. And
oh yeah, I have too.
Right? So, I mean, where are the rest of them?
You know, I mean, how can it be there 1 second and be gone the next and have one track?
Yeah, so I mean,
True.
it's
Absolutely.
You know, you're looking at something 9 feet tall, 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
You're looking at 800, 900-pound thing.
And that's
Yeah, and it's
nice.
gone.
Yeah, and it's gone. And there's no, you got one track.
Yeah.
So
granted, it
Where
was
does
a
it go?
17.5-inch track.
Where's
But
it? I believe it goes to another dimension, man. I believe those
I
lights are
truly
portals.
believe that you're onto something there.
Yeah, I have no. I'll take that to my grave. But I have a
I
question
mean-
from Laurel, my buddy Laurel. She says, "Why do we call it hunt Bigfoot?" As I said before, running my dog team, and she has a good dog team, I saw and the dog saw. Nobody believes, but I am fully aware of my surroundings when on sled. Do you guys see them in the summer only, or also when it's freezing and snowing?
They
Take it away,
follow the
somebody.
seasons.
Yeah, all the seasons. I agree. They're not
They-
migrational.
That's a
Um,
great
No.
question.
They follow the seasons, man. They always have water. They always have food.
You know, if you're in an area where you're getting snow and it's winter, you would think that if they were there and there were more of them, you'd see more tracks. So do they hibernate or do they go somewhere else?
yeah, in all the years we've been doing this and the groups we've worked with, categorically, the sightings drop in the winter.
Yeah.
They pick up in the spring and die off just before snowfall.
Exactly.
There's a lot of theories on what they do and what, you know, trackways and hibernation and, you know, moving south and getting warm and following the food. And there's legitimacy to all that. But,
they have
you know,
they have to follow the seasons, man. I mean, look how big they are. You get an 8-foot tall one that's shit, 900 pounds. They need protein. They need food. Once it gets cold, it dries up here. They got to follow the seasons. They need that food. They need that protein.
Yeah,
You know?
to me,
there's that. But, you know, I beg to differ with you with, you know, we have the moose that goes out at 1,200 pounds.
Yeah.
Carries its weight all winter if it doesn't die of ticks. And it'll grow a rack every year. And it eats grass, bark, and buds. And it maintains a body weight to maintain our biggest mammal. So, you know, there's, you know, chasing down deer and turkeys.
Well, I agree.
And stuff like that. There's
I
truth
totally
to it.
agree with you, bro. I totally agree with you. But we're not talking about a moose. We're talking about a Sasquatch or a
Yeah,
bean.
we're talking
You know,
potential dietary needs.
right?
right.
You know,
food-
I got bears that are just coming out of dens up here because they hibernated most of the winter because we had 3 feet of snow in the woods.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, that's the way it
if
is
I-
in New England.
if I
I'm up
could-
here in Western Massachusetts, and that's kind of the way it is up here. It's, you know, they
Right.
den up. You know, I'd be more
Too
apt to
much
say that
snow.
they would den up than hibernate or travel. But I'm not going to say that one way or the other. You know, I
Right.
can't prove it. That's just my thought.
Yeah, we don't get.
I
That's why
understand.
we don't get a lot of tracks.
If I may, we've had zero change in our area, period, ever. Nothing. It's all they here year round. We have track lines in the snow. I have pictures that I put up on my page, my channel, my pages, whatever, of 18 plus track in the you know, freezing 0 degree snow. I've never had any change. And when I started this, before all the Banter Richie B stuff, they were always in my backyard. It was hardly ever a quiet time. And that's just my story. I don't know what anybody else does or how that works for anybody. I have a very plentiful area with deer and different types of things. You know, if they're an omnivore and they got, you know, plenty of stuff around my area to maintain. And I've just never had a change in it. And that's just me and my story. And I don't know. And again, we're talking geographical, and I think geographics matter for everything and everybody. Breathing, half dimensional, half, flesh and blood, whatever you want to call. Geographics matter, and that's my point to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Lillian, real quick, Lillian Brecken, we're talking about Bigfoot. I got the Bigfoot investigators, researchers on my show tonight, and I am so damn happy, and I'm proud, and I feel like. But Donna says that she sees herders all year round, and they stay in the caves, but we have a lot of food source here. And on that, Wojo, would you care to have the last word before we go on our first break?
Oh yeah, I mean, as Richie may say, was saying about year round. If you check us out on Banter with Richie B podcast network on YouTube, X, you'll see all our pictures. And what makes you? And they're not animals; they are forest people. And how
They're
do we
beings.
know that? Exactly. So how do we know that maybe they store their own food somewhere that we don't know? Maybe there's like
True.
spots like some people have caves. We don't have caves where we are,
Nope.
but there are some large rocks where they could possibly store food or whatever. There's plentiful of
Pretty
all sorts of
interesting.
plants. Arc. Obviously, there's other than deer. There's other animals that we find skulls and broken bones that are shattered. Like a complete snap, taking out their bone marrow. So, all I can say is that they're out there, and to see a being that's that big, being out, being out in the winter with all that, that mass, kind of like moose and whatever. Now, I know some of you all don't have moose, but just imagine something that big that can store all that weight and calories and whatever um, during the winter. And you see that when they walk on the snow where it's frozen, it's like instant, like they crystallize, these prints because once they make contact, their weight and their heat is second to none that we find. And we found a fold up, well, I'm going to call it the deer where there was no tissue, there was no bones, there's like nothing. I'd never seen anything like this. I was a hunter, and
Mhm.
I never seen anything like that. There were no bones, there was no blood, there was no insides, nothing. And it wasn't. You don't see
Interesting.
other tracks of other animals, and it's perfectly on top of the snow. But yet nearby, you got a big area of 4 by 7 of a sheet of ice where it's like something crouched down. They had body heat that turned into ice. I mean, we were walking around in 8 inches of snow. So yeah, they can handle the winters.
Cool. All right, listen, Maya. Maya has a question here, but I need to go to a break first. And then when we come back from the break, I will ask the question for you, Maya. I think that's how you pronounce it, Maya. So we'll be back in a couple minutes. Everybody sit back, relax, and get a cigarette, go take a pee, do what you got to do, and we shall return.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Into the Night with me, your host, Shawn Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you two shows a week, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. Sunday night tonight is a 2-hour show. So you know what? Thank you, Heidi. So just hang around. I got the 5 best, to me, the 5 top best Bigfoot investigators out there, dudes. And so far, it's been a great show. And Kelly Porter, she says, good evening from New Hampshire Bigfoot Society. Do you all know her up there?
Mhm.
Kelly Porter?
Yes.
Yeah, we know him.
You know Kelly? Okay.
Yeah, Kelly's
All
a
right.
good dude.
Yeah.
But I had this question from Matt Maya. I had a face-to-face, and we locked eyes for like a second while he was running in front of the car. He must have been watching my friend and I howl at the moon and carry on in the middle of the night up in the mountain on a dirt road. Wasn't looking for anything but a fun time with my buddy. Didn't know what in heaven's name I was looking at, but his eyes were kind, but he had an OO look and LOL. I'm sure I did too. Here's my question. Will there ever be a chance to meet? Hey, Joni.
I don't know if you ever come to Western Mass, I guess.
I
don't know.
You know, anything is possible. You know, the more you're out there,
That's it. That's it. It's putting in the time, and getting out there.
even if it's traveling the back roads, you know, just going for a squatch ride, as we call it.
Yeah, most people have just a lucky experience or an unlucky experience, and there it is. And then there's people that put time in the woods and spend hours and days and months and money and time, and they get rewards for it. You know, they get either visuals or ancillary things like knocks and rock clacking, whoops, whistles, things like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of feeds the fire to keep you going.
So will you ever meet?
Hope so.
It would be nice if you do, and if the more you're out there, I would say your chances are a lot higher than not.
Where in the hell Richie go?
I just noticed.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what it is.
I was just too quiet for a moment. I was waiting for him to speak, but I guess he's out.
Well, he's got 83 kids, so.
My advice to you, Maya, is a good question because I'm referring to our area and in our area only because of when you have good intentions when you go out in these woods. Richie's backstage. Yeah, so if you have good intentions and you have good energy, what we're dealing with is that is spiritual. And we've been in the same area now for like 2.5 years, but it's collecting data. It's constantly hitting the same area over and over. I don't need to jump around to like Alaska or any of these other places. I'm sure there are other, other investigations going on, but you got to stick to one area and grow with it. And it's a learning process. Everything's about learning. That is like the tree structures. That is about, we do have a gifting chair and things like that we try to, we gift them but we also learning through the data of them. Like we have golf balls, and they move the golf balls and rocks around. The rocks represent them, so on and so forth.
Mm.
So it's about communication. It's about building that good relationship. And obviously, they did try to spook us, but yet we're still coming back. I mean, we had these 4 bluff charges, and I believe that we're we're being tested as we go in our journey. And I'm sure, like everybody else is here, it's everything's a journey, and our audience has been with us from the very beginning because we do lives, and that's how we go. So.
Pamela says that the information given, yes, I wish that more accredited labs would bring down the price and process DNA samples. The chain of custodies needs to be strong. They need to be broadened, the database. My question to every one of you all on this panel, is it expensive to get DNA samples tested?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's a long line. You don't know where it's going. You don't know if you'll get it back. And it's going to come back saying pot this and unknown. And
you
no
gotta
sense.
pay for everything, you know.
It's no sense. No sense.
Big money.
Yeah, there's two reliable people that we know of. I'm sure there's many others, and there's some there's good people doing it that we know of, and I know that there's a price tag that comes with it.
A hefty one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's unfortunate, but that's a great question, and I wish there would be somebody out there that could do it for a lot less.
Yeah, I look at it like this, man. You go out and get like Wojo was saying, we had been to a couple of different places and kind of researching different areas, and I did it all the time. And then we made a decision to go into this one zone that we're in now that is connected to my yard. My backyard, when all my incidents started first happening, it's about 2 miles away, 2.5 miles away from where we are today. And we go back and forth now. We actually have 2 gifting sites. I can tell you this, forget about the DNA, get that out of your head. And Pamela, you're right. If there was a credible place that you could go back and forth and drop things off and compare, that would be awesome. It's just not like that. Everybody's all about that money. You're in a long ass line. You could be waiting for a year, 2 years, unless somebody says, hey, we're doing a study. We want to know. Or they're associated with that 4-letter place. And you don't know if you're going to get it back. You don't know who you're giving it to. For me, what I have here is theirs. Theirs being the ones in the woods. That's their stuff. I'm not giving their shit away. I'm sharing it because I feel good about it. And if I feel good about it, I feel like I've been given a type of permission. So what I'm going to say to you is build that relationship up, shit up, get the settled. I had to swear. It's been like a half hour. I haven't sworn because I'm on Sean Kelly's show. It sucks. No, not your show, but that fact that I can't swear. But go after those subtleties. Pay attention to the subtleties in the woods. They're testing you. They want to know if you can hear something, that little branch breaking far away, that little groan, that little moan. They want to know if you're paying attention. And if you are, they're going to give you more, and then they're going to give you more. And the reason why I could talk like this, like a crazy 100%er, is because we've done it for 2 years this month in this one area, and my research has evolved live on YouTube in front of all my friends' eyes that heard me basically say Gigantopithecus for a week. All right, I don't say that anymore. All right, it's different now. So pay attention to those subtleties. Don't worry about that science stuff because there is none, or there is, but they ain't giving it to you. How's that? And just keep going. Build your relationship. You're going to know what you're going to know. That's the bottom line. And then you're going to share it with others, and they're going to go, oh my God, me too. Oh my God, me too. And no better interaction between 2 good quality humans that respect the research and don't shit on each other's research. Period. End of discussion. Right. For me. That's for me.
Susan Ahern says we need to have someone donate/fund a cryptid testing lab. That would be nice. How about you, Squatch man?
That would be awesome.
How about you, Squatch?
That'd be good. That would be awesome, man.
Yep. But it's all about the freaking money.
It's all about the dollars, baby. It's all about the dollars. That's what this world is now.
I'm not.
Yeah, there's enough evidence and research out there that proves it already.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, man. I got a buddy of mine right now that's in Scotland that does research, and I send him my hair samples and whatever I find, and he's 100% man, and he's a legit deal, bro. He's been doing it as long as I have, and because I don't share none of that with nobody around here. You know, you don't share shit like that, but he's legit. He's 100, man, and I've never had no problems with him.
You know,
Interesting.
Shawn, it's like some of these all right, so for DNA and what have you, thousands and thousands of dollars. Listen, I rather, if it costs like $10,000, I'd rather take that $10,000 and go to the casino and throw it on, throw it on a craps table. Because
Lucky 13.
if your results, you have a better chance of winning at a casino, then the answer's back, and the answers are going to be unknown.
Yeah.
There's not enough
Right.
DNA.
It's going
to come back unknown. So I'd rather just throw my money at a craps table because I don't trust anybody.
come back unknown.
Yeah, well, we got a picture that we're going to show you later on in the show. To me, that's DNA. My eyes work fine. They got DNA flowing through them. I don't need any of that. I know exactly.
There's a lot of people that need to have it written down. Says, science says yes. We're going to say it's here.
Yeah.
Who cares what you say? I know it's here. I know what the hell I saw. I don't need you to tell me what I saw.
Right.
Exactly.
How do you gather science? You gather science through collection of data. Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, but when I give them my data, I'm not, worthy. It's not reputable. It's not this. And I say BS. I know what I saw. Yeah. So screw your science or your little checkbox that you want. I know it's here. If you don't want to admit it, that's your own issue.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because I tell you what, when I started investigating, and I would show people some of my evidence that I got on an investigation, oh my God, they would just rip into me. You know what I mean? Call me every name in the book, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. And then I look at them and I said, were you there with me?
Exactly.
Were you there? Were you there with me? And they say, no, then how can you tell me that I don't have something there?
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
I say it all the time. I go, I didn't know you knew what.
Unless you're standing there, you can't. How can you? You're just going to call the guy a liar.
But everything matters. Everything matters. Time of day, weather, everything. You stood there. You knew when the wind was blowing, which direction. What the temperature was, what the lighting was. No, you didn't.
You got to take it for what the guy. The guy that's telling you, or the person that's telling you. You got to take it for what it's worth. Do you trust them? Do you believe them?
No,
but we as researchers have a responsibility to present data if we want people to believe us. We need to get better at it instead of being a bunch of gruff dudes who write a bunch of, write a note on a table like we're guys and we throw it over there. We got to do better at that. How do we as researchers come together and actually make a real database, not that weird ass junky one that some meathead controls, and holds it for like 2 months before he releases it? That's bullshit. You know what I mean? We as researchers need to get better at keeping data, not only keeping data, communicating with each other, which we have done in this area of Massachusetts, right, Vogels? Hell, you guys didn't even know who I was until I was like, hey, yes, I have an idea. My name's Rich. I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? It was just the way I was. New Hampshire, Maine, we got Andy's in Connecticut, right? We had someone in Rhode Island, but, whatever, gone. But it was just like, Southeastern Mass, Western Mass. We come together in our area and we discuss things. We have conversations. No, we're not sitting there going, hey, that was Bigfoot. Wow, did you hear that? Hey, something farted in the woods. Must have been Bigfoot. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that.
There needs to be more of that. Everybody agrees on that. You watch all these different shows. Everybody says the same thing. We need to share information. The problem is, it's a fragmented group and there's no central place to go and share that information that everybody wants to go to. That's all.
Exactly.
But there is different groups that are collecting it. There is. And Cabo Mountain Critters putting it on.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
That's what we're doing. Research.
I remember I did a show, a TV show. They called me up from Los Angeles. And the producer said, yeah. And what happened was I went to the shoot where they were shooting at, and what I was picking up and what I was feeling, what I was seeing was totally different from what they wanted me to say. Okay. And,
Yeah.
and it's the truth.
Oh, I did
It's
it
the
too.
truth.
We did it.
And I'm like, okay. So I played their game for a day and that was it. No more. You know what I mean? And the
Right.
funny thing about it is that they filmed me for like 2 hours and they only put like a minute in, maybe 30 seconds. It was short, you know. So I don't trust some shows. I don't watch some shows. If I want to have some fun, I'll watch what's that one with Bobo, whatever the hell his name is.
Bigfoot Banter with Richie B live in the woods on YouTube is what Shawn Kelly watches 24/7. Back to you, Bob. Oh, figure it out, bro. You're a mess.
Squatch, what about you, man? What's going on? What's up? What do you think?
Yes, Squatch.
Share your opinion.
About what?
Anything.
Man, I'm
Anything,
just
bro.
listening, bro.
You just listening? All right, brother.
I'm just listening.
Yeah, sorry
All
about
right.
that.
I'm just kind of glad that you every one of you all, especially Squatch. I remember the last time we were supposed to do a show, it was raining or something like that, and your phone completely went out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, storm. Yeah, lightning strike, man. Shut the power down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
But I feel like that with you being on with this panel of guests, my boy, you know, my friends. I mean, you are with the best, dude. That's the way I look at it. But
thank
I appreciate it.
He must have come on because he heard Wojo was going to be here because it's always Wojo, Wojo, Wojo. Wojo's the fire starter. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah. Masha. We doing another break already? Jeez,
we're doing it. Yeah, I'm telling you, gotta have fun.
21 minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I protest.
21. I'm going to do the break, come back, and then we're going to.
When we come back, I'm going to swear regular now. Let's go.
No, you ain't swearing regularly. No.
Flip. He's gonna get flip.
The first
No,
show I
they're
got
gonna
thrown off.
bleep me out. And I'm gonna get a text message from my station manager, and she's gonna wring my ass out if she hears that
I
word.
said one swear in an hour.
You did good, man. I'm
That's
impressed.
a new record. You're welcome, Shawn Kelly, because I love you, bro. Now take the damn break.
Okay, listen, guys. Again, we're gonna go on another break. Everyone go out, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do, have a cigarette, have fun, and we'll see you back in a couple minutes. We did that one. We'll do this one.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey everybody. Oh, here I am. There I am. How you doing, guys? Good to see you
Hey.
again. Welcome everybody to Into the Night with me, your
Welcome
host
back.
Shawn Kelly, with the Bigfoot people, my very good friends, and they're great investigators. Want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. Thank you for welcoming back. Listen, guys, good news, good news. I'm not going to take no breaks in this second hour because I just don't want to hear Richie yelling at me anymore. Okay, I just don't want that happening.
That on me.
But listen, wow, this is great show. Everybody out there, this is what I want you to do. Please go out and share this show out for the second hour. People don't realize that this is a 2-hour show, and I've been broadcasting that it has been. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you. My friend, my friend has a question for me, but I have to say to you, where's it at? Where's she at? Okay, my friend Joni McGillicks wants to know, are you guys on YouTube? And if you guys are on YouTube, please tell where people can meet you at.
I'm not.
No, we're not.
I put a link up. Bigfoot Banter, Richie B. Check us out. I just put a link up. We're actually going to be going live in the woods tomorrow. We do a lot of live investigations on YouTube. Mainly for it's fun. We enjoy ourselves, but it does help with the encryption and into the kind of backing up that data, right? So we kind of get that too, and we get to find prints together, and we see things together, we hear things together, and we have a pretty consistent, loyal audience. And I don't even like calling them audience; they're like family and friends. And I even have a Banter Richie B live messenger group set up, and we just bounce ideas off each other constantly. It constantly goes around, but it's the same on all the socials: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. But we are live tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time in the woods for my fiance's birthday, and she's going to be joining us in the woods, Miss Jessie B.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Yep.
Now, everybody, check this out. Check this out. Now, I could see people are leaving. Now they're jumping, so it's fluctuating. So please share this show out for the second hour. But you know what, Kevin, Heidi, everybody out there who's listening, we are going to do some evidence. And I'm going to share my personal thing. Whenever a paranormal investigator goes out and has pictures or video, whenever a Bigfoot person, an ET, everybody, anybody that, investigates, there's one thing I have to tell you. We're sharing it with you from the generosity of our hearts. Okay. We're not here to make you say, hey, ghosts exist, Bigfoots exist. We're not pounding that into your head. I mean, we busted our asses to get to what we have, and the evidence, everything we have done. You have no freaking right to come back and judge us and tell us that we're a bunch of dumbasses. You know what I mean? And this is what you got, you don't have. And that's why I look at it. And everybody on the panel tonight, even some of the people in there in the chat room tonight, you just don't do that. Out of the generosity of our heart, we're sharing something. We're, like Richie says all the time, we're teaching you. But if you want to be a shithead, excuse my language, listen to me. I can get into that. I'm the one that will get in trouble.
Kelly, I am out of here. You did not tell me you were going to say a swear word.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. No, when I get rude, I get going. But you're right. Richie got this really good picture, or Wojo got this picture when they were out in the woods. And I'm going to turn the show over to Richie because we have a lot of pictures that we would like to share with you. So please stick around, and I'll leave it to you, Rich. Go ahead, take the show.
I can't. The only thing is you have to bring things up on the stage.
I will do that. Just tell me when to bring it up.
Yeah, real quick, because we were discussing the lights. And you'll see in the last picture that's there is it says light that's not. You see that one? It's a bright light. Yeah, just bring that one up. So this is the idea of not having orbs. No, not that one. Get that out of there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can get it out of there.
Mossy, don't worry about
It's the bottom. It's the bottom. I put 2 rows.
That's it. I see it. This one.
Yeah. So this right here is, we see a light, and you could see that I've tried to lighten it up and everything else. So when we get this light in the woods, that's what we're casting on. We're taking a picture with a light in the woods, and Wojo has that amazing Android phone. I can't wait to get one. And he's zooming on it, and then when we get back home, and it's just a light. Real, you can see it live while you're in the woods, but you can clearly see that there's something behind this light, right? I might not be a Bigfoot. Could be an alien. Some of them look like crazy, like cartoon characters, to be honest with you. So we believe there's a lot of star people in the area, and everything that we do, again, the phone encrypts everything, so it's all there. But yeah, so I noticed the 2 eyes. I noticed the bright light. You take a picture of it. Just to go with the conversation we were having earlier, I wanted to show at least one of those. We probably have about 100 of these or so, Wojo, maybe more. I don't even know anymore.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, not the same picture either. I could have brought up much better. I didn't want to scare your audience too much, so I made it kind of playful. So yeah, so that's what we see for lights. To me, they're plasma. They're not a moving orb. All right, so and then what I'm going to do is, do you mind if we play a quick little video before we get? It takes like a few seconds. Let me remove this.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Watch the right of that tree. Just watch the outline of that tree. I thought, again, it could play tricks on you too because you're staring at the camera, but it looks like there's an outline there of some sort. Yeah, look at. Oh,
You see that?
did you guys see that?
In the trees?
But it looks like there's an outline there of some sort. Yeah, look at. Oh, did you guys see that? It looks like there's an outline there of some sort. Yeah, look at. Oh, did you guys see that?
That's Richie's owl impression.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Did you?
You want me to remove that, Rich?
No, I'll get it. So just to give a little context, this is the end of the video. That not the end, but it started 11 minutes prior, where I was hearing crunching off to my left in our research zone. Wojo's off to my right. I started out this way. By the time I got to this incident, I was here. And when I got to those trees, I noticed the trees weren't up and down. There was a little wrinkle in them, right? Because I'm zoomed in on my phone, right? And I said, it just didn't look right. And I thought I saw a little bit of movement. And then, boom, lo and behold, that figure goes between the trees. Now, the reason why I'm giving you context is, again, I followed it by the crunch and the movement to my left all the way to this spot. And then it kept going to the right. I'm like, shh, he's going your way. And Wojo's over there. Well, then that light appeared. Right, Wojo? You could take that. You saw the light kind of come out from this area, right, that we were in?
Yeah, so Richie moved to my left, and I'm looking at a light, and I'm trying to, try to be stationary about it. And then, but I'm watching Richie at the same time because he was talking to the live, and he was kind of doing like a 180. He's just scanning, and then you can hear movement. And so as I'm watching him going, what is that over there? And then I decided to start walking towards him. But then before I moved, another light appeared to my right, to my lower right. And so now you can hear the crunch, and that's me walking towards him. And I'm still looking. And then as I approach Richie, he's talking about, shadows. And I'm like, where are the shadows? And it's like, right about here, like where these lights are. So I kind of went behind him and kind of crouched down a little bit and took a quick picture. And that was the only picture I took.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure what I was seeing.
So Eric, Squat, I'm sorry, want to get the Vogel brothers and Squatchman's opinion on that little video.
That's an amazing piece of video right there.
It's definitely interesting.
Literally, you can see it. You can literally see it go between the 2 trees.
And it's big. And I took it down because I didn't want to keep it up and hijack the show. So I'm just kind of, you know what I mean? I gave a little blip of it, but I could always put it back up if anybody wanted to watch it.
Of film.
Right. We kind of went through this the other night, and the backstory on the light. This is in the woods. There is no buildings behind it. There's no reflections. There's no secondary sources. This is whatever it is emitting its own light. This is light coming from the woods. And when you break it up and some of the details that we saw, some of the pictures we saw, the light was behind branches and stuff. And it's pretty cool when you start breaking down the pictures, and it's pretty wild.
And that's what we're going to do.
What do you think, Squatch Man?
We could put
What's
it up
up?
again.
What do you
Put it up
think?
again, Shawn.
Man, it's definitely interesting, man. It's definitely interesting.
It has to go with
Okay.
context, right? I mean, it's not a piece of evidence where I'm going to be like, hey, no, wrong one, bottom.
Wrong one. Go ahead, you get it, brother, if you can.
I can't. Oh, it is that one. Okay. The one next to
Is
that.
it?
The one to the
One
right
next
of
to
that. Yeah. It's the last one in line. It's
Okay,
just context. It's context for
Watch the
what
line of
we're.
that tree.
Here we go. Here you go, Joe Fox.
Just watch the outline of that tree. I thought, again, it could play tricks on
Watch
you
the
too
light
because you're staring
straight
at the
back.
camera. But
See it,
looks like
Joe?
there's an outline
There's something
there of
standing
some
there.
sort. Yeah, look at.
Boom.
Oh, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? Did you guys
What?
see that?
Second one. Boom. See
Listen,
it? Oh, look at. He stopped on
moving.
the other side of
Right
the tree.
there, Joe.
He stops on the other side of the tree, like, whoa.
Wait,
And this-
did I see what I
I
saw?
see it. Perfect.
You can see him sticking out, right? Now, this is just context to what's coming. Yeah. Did you hear that?
It's
World-
an amazing piece of video right there.
A world
was.
famous quote. Did I just see what I just saw? What an idiot.
Exactly.
Absolute
Well,
worst.
let me
ever.
ask you this, guy. Let me ask you this, Rich and
Yes, sir.
Wojo. Did it make noises or was it quiet?
Well,
What? Did it
it was-
whoop or did it?
No, it was crunching away. I heard it. The subtleties. This is what I talk about. It's the subtleties, man. You know, I used to have a thing way back when this started in my backyard that I'd hear them move. I'd say something and they would react to me. They'd stop. But right after they stopped, I'd hear that little. And I always envisioned them kind of dipping down and the weight of them moving the dry leaves or something, you know, popping a stick once in a while, right? And it was the subtleties. And I was hearing the subtleties off to my left. And you can hear me on the live. Again, YouTube Live is a great tool. So I picked it up. I mean, the company sucked, but anyways, that's a different story. So I picked it up and I aimed it over there. And I kept kind of following. I said, I hear something moving over there. And I'm talking to the audience, and we're all kind of keeping an eye out together. And then I'm like, oh, I think he moved over here. You could almost hear him. I'm trying to catch, you know, little glimpses of this black mass, but it wasn't showing up a lot to my left, a little bit more to my right. And then in dead center in front of me, I started seeing it where you could hear my energy going up on YouTube, going up. Oh, you can hear me like trying to breathe because I know something's there. And I'm gonna say, you know, Woj, what did we that there? How far away were they? We say 80 to you said 100. I said 80. Is that where the light ended up?
Yeah, it's between 80 to 100 feet.
Yeah, so we're there, and then when I came across, and I went between that one, it was like a bulbous type dark shadow. Now, mind you, I got a backlight on my phone, and it's getting dark. So some of it, what you see is dusk and twilight, and other is a light I don't really know about. So I'm coming over here, and then all of a sudden, I just out of the corner of my eye, and you got to be careful because I'm zoomed in. The phone could wiggle a little bit, and you hear me say that on the live, and your eyes can play tricks on you. And then all of a sudden, I stopped. And I saw that tree had a couple little bumps in it. This didn't make sense. And the guys that are out there researching, anybody, even hikers and things, you know, when it's dusk, all the trees almost look like rectangles. They're everywhere. Oh, Wojo, that's a thought. Anyways,
What's cool about that video is that you can see at the very beginning on the right hand side, it was just you can see it peeking.
The more you look at it, the more
you look at it, you can see a black mass peeking. And then that's when it just like, you know, like very quickly just moved. Good, Squatch Man.
How far was that tree
how
from you?
away?
Yeah, was that? I mean,
I'm going to say
the center tree. How far was that tree from him?
So when we were here, I think he came over more here. We determined it was 80 to 100 feet. I'm going to say that one's anywhere. I'm going to say about 125 feet from us. And no, I didn't get any smell or anything like that. And we've had plenty of smell. Trust me, when they ran by us from 60 feet away.
Females, man.
Females?
Yeah,
I don't.
Female.
He's breaking up.
A female. If the juveniles around you, where I'm at here, and I've been following them for 40 years or more, they tour a scent to lure you away from the juveniles. That's females.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. We didn't have any scent though. I didn't know that. That's good. Thank you.
Just weren't aware of it.
Yeah.
This is part of
So
that
you,
whole
how
show
far
of
how far was the
information.
light from you?
Oh, that's where the light. I said 80 feet. Wojo said 100. So
Right.
that's what we
Okay,
do.
so what so how tall? So what do you judge the tallness at?
When
What do you think?
When I'm looking at that tree, I was thinking 8 because I know that tree. Because again, go to your research area over and over and over. We go once, 2, sometimes 3 times a week to the same place.
Oh, I do too, brother, all the time.
Yeah, so you know what we're saying, right? So
yeah, I know
that area there. I determined about 8 feet.
9 foot, about 9 foot tall.
I just said 8. 8 came to my mind, and then the picture we got. It's hard to determine because we got to go back and try to reenact it. We went
right.
once, but it's really hard to try to get it in the nighttime. But I think I have a tell with the break that's in the picture that you guys are about to see at some point. So it's very important. There was multiple there, so it was definitely
about 9, 10 foot. That's what I'd say.
I'd be safe with 9. You know what I mean? I'd be safe with 9. You know. But yeah, it was pretty wild. And again, this is all context. And it's live on YouTube. And then the picture we got, we encrypted it into the phone. And when you see the picture, you're going to understand a little bit more. So that picture next to the video, number 8, Shawn, number 8. And it's just going to show the encryption on the phone. So therefore, when we go forward, you understand what we're working with. So behind it, you can actually see the light we're taking a picture of. At the bottom of it, you see the date and the time. You could see that it's a Galaxy, way too much money for what it's worth, and it's a super telephoto lens, 115 millimeters, 852. It gives you everything you need.
I got one in too, man.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Forensically, forensically, right? So forensically, it's telling us everything we need to know. So if this phone is somewhere and they can forensically take it apart, they're going to find out where you were and all that stuff. So we'll take that down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to jump to number 1, Shawn.
Number 1, okay.
Yep.
Get up here. Here we go.
So there's the light source that we're looking at. We're looking at a lights just like we have with the Star People for a long time, and that's all it was. We're taking a picture of a light. We were going to put it on Wojo's Tuesday night show, Home of the Boom, 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Banter with the Richie B Podcast Network. And then as I zoomed in, I looked above the light. I looked above the light, above that branch, and I saw something looking back at me. Do you see it, Squatch Man?
I see it.
Crazy. That's crazy. Yep.
Go to number 2.
Go number 2.
So this is a close-up where there's pixelation. Other than that, most pictures there's no pixelation. I did this specifically because of the eyeball, because it's a piece of the body, right? Look how perfectly symmetrical the eyeball is in your right socket, his left, with the white around it, with the shadow of the big brow ridge. Now watch as the head goes up. You see the conical-shaped head. At the very top of the conical-shaped head, you see some discoloration. That discoloration is sticking straight up like straw. Very coarse, I would say. Not trying to insinuate that is hair, but that's what I insinuate that it is.
Not here, but it's here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ready for 3?
Yeah, sure. Then we'll start clarifying things a little more. This one here's the dark version of that, basically. So you could see you could see the color of the nose. Perhaps it's a little bit lighter.
Shading.
Maybe there's no hair on his nose. You know what I mean? Very human-like. You got the brow go straight across. Now you can see both eyes. So now you have 2 pieces of a body. So it adds more to it. The conical head, the nose, the brow ridge, 1 eye, now 2 eyes. Very important, right? You can even see the mouth starting to take form. I think Eric, or you guys call a walrus mustache. There is a there is a clearer picture coming. I just wanted to point these things out before it hit you. You can go. Where am I?
To me, it looks like somebody from Valhalla.
There's no ears on it.
Well, that's it. Like where is it? I don't know. That's his decision, not mine. His ears could be behind more. I don't know. It looks like
covered in hair. Who knows?
Yeah, we thought it was kind of unique because the shape of the head and Wojo.
The eyes and the nose bridge is what it is. That's good.
When most of the people that I've ever heard described it says it as a conical head. Mine had a conical head.
Yeah,
just like that.
Yep.
And when you start looking at the shading and the shadowing,
yeah, you can go to the next picture.
You clearly see on the left side on my screen. It's left side on the nose. You can see shading, the nostril.
Yeah,
I mean it's an amazing capture.
You can see the cheekbone.
Yeah.
You start seeing more and more the more you look at it.
And if he can get that cleaned up and really dialed in, granted, this is a long way away, and at night with a really great phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank God he wasn't too busy.
I got one of them on saying cheat, man.
Oh, shut up.
I'm with you, buddy.
Right.
But this one here is a little bit more of the original. It's not zoomed in as much. You could see there's less pixelation in this. You can see that copyright all rights reserved on the banter Richie B and Wojo. Sorry. On one side, and you could see now you could start seeing a little bit more of the face feature as one. That's why, because the other ones I was trying to point out things, right? I'm not going to label it on his face. Look at eyeball. I don't want to do that. It's not all crazy cleaned up yet or anything like that. And I don't even know if I want to do that yet. I might have.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you.
I like
leave it alone, man.
All right. Relax. Shut up, Jesus. Why don't you put up a poll? Listen. I will always have the original. The original is always, like I told Wojo, you can never trade your phone in now. We'll have to raise money for you to get another phone because you can't give it away. It's science now. You know what I mean? So, what the F is what? Oh, Satunga.
Satanya. Well, first of all, Native Americans deem them as Songas, the Satanyas. They all have different names of the
respectfully, I might add.
Respectfully.
Yes.
Okay. Because a lot of the Bigfoots fall along the Native American cultures.
Yeah, Shawnee call them the Watchers.
The Watchers. Donna calls them the Watchers.
Yeah, Donna does as well. And there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's
forest people. Yeah,
there's many names for them. Many names. Each one like again geographics, right? And we're in the Narragansett, the Wampanoags. You know what I mean? So we're learning more about our local indigenous people. We want to be able to use their language to them in the woods, right? Because it's geographical. So we thank God we've had Elder Medicine Bear Claw's guidance because she's taught us stuff. You know what I mean? She's taught us different little things to say. Tante, okay, just little things, even so they know, you know what I mean, what we're trying to say. I learned from, I forget the gentleman's name, but it was a koi, which means we come in peace, basically, So, if you're in your local area and you're having these experiences, learn the native language, right? And then use that because there's a good chance that the Satunga, Bigfoot, SQUATCH, which is his name, not Sasquatch, is out there, and he has spoken with and dealt with, and stuff has been handed down to him. Not just ways of life, but actual language. So you're gonna have different things like that. What's up, OBR? But yeah,
Elder Medicine Bear, you're absolutely correct. They are the guardians.
Correct. Yep. And that's where we're headed here because, again, the shape of the head, think about that, how close when he's close to a tree, how much more he blends in with that tree because he's almost shaped like it. Think of that. It's kind of crazy, right? If you had a big Minecraft blockhead, right, it would stick right out, right? And I'm not saying some don't, but some do, right? So however that works, there's interbreeding and things like that, like Squatch Man brought up, that might give them different types of genes and DNA,
That's a lot to say for pareidolia. If they try to put it off as pareidolia, there's a lot going on in this pareidolia picture.
And that's only part of it.
Right. And there's a lot to go to make it happen.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's why this is what I'm talking about as researchers. We have a responsibility. Our responsibility is to document, because no one's ever going to believe us. No one gives a shit as much as we do. If they didn't find it, it's probably not real. They're going to try to discredit it. I dealt with that fool from Massachusetts. You know what I mean? And it was just like stupid. I don't want to play that game. So when people started poking at me, I was like, oh, yeah, I got something for you, buddy. Let's go live. And then you can talk smack. You know what I mean? So there's ways of doing these
That
things.
will never happen. That would
Yeah.
never happen.
There's ways of doing things that as researchers we can do better in order to present it to everybody. And that's why I wanted to show that. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to show the video. Yeah, this is why I wanted to show the video, show the encryption on the phone, show the date and the time. You know, that's your science. If you're talking forensics, well, isn't forensic science too? Collection of data is science. Well, now I got 2 pieces of science. So here you go. So then if you go to the next one, I think one of these coming up are pretty clean. And the key to this is we're going to see something that, yeah, so there you go. So, yeah, now you could see pareidolia is out the window. Pareidolia is to the left and right. Pareidolia is not on his face. This, what you're seeing is a gift. That is an earned gift through respect. And that's why we're trying to tell you to research kindly, research with respect. There's no way he's not looking right at us. There's no way that he's given up his position by mistake. Zero chance. Zero chance. I believe they're beings on a higher frequency. That's what I believe. You got psychics and you got mediums in the world, right? Psychics and mediums are on a higher frequency, or they're more sensitive to their frequencies, which gives them different abilities. Now imagine if we only use 0.35% of our brain, what if there's a being out there using 0.75 of their brain? You don't think they can jump higher than you, faster than you, and think better than you? I bet you they can. And think about it. Now look at that picture. Look at that picture, man. There is zero doubt about that picture, what you're looking at. There's nothing. That is forest people. Right then and there.
The only reason why you have that picture is because it wanted you to see it.
100%.
Yes. 100%. I agree.
Yep.
And you know what,
That's
Rich?
the only reason why.
And here's the deal behind that. For the longest time I've known you guys, and I know that I'd watch you bust your ass going out there and do the gift and share, doing what you're doing. And I said to Wojo the one time, I said, Wojo, when they're ready, they're going to show themselves to you. And they did right there.
Yep. They did.
And they
right
did it.
Now the important picture
It's
is
like you said, Richie, respect.
Yeah, respect. But
Blow that thing up.
We've been preaching this for a long time, you know, through these platforms where we say, don't, pardon me, shit on your fellow researcher. If you didn't find it, it's okay. It's ours, man. This is ours collectively. I've learned from all of you. Wojo has learned from all of you. This is our discovery collectively. Don't feel envy. Don't feel angry. Don't
Exactly.
because we have it, man. Come on in and join us. Let's find more. Now let's find out how they think and why they're here. Let's do that. How about that level?
Yes.
How about that
yes,
level?
I agree.
So
I
if
agree.
you go to the next,
You need to come down south, man.
Oh hell yeah, I got south in my blood, bro. All my kids have the name.
No, you need to come down here, man. You need to come down here.
I'd love to. Now look at this. Here is an important one-off historic photo. And I see my buddy Vincent over there. That's a great comment, man. I appreciate that. You're right. We acknowledged each other. That's the key. He is acknowledging Wojo and I. And we have done this many, many nights. And usually this idiot's hanging over his shoulder with his live audience. And Wojo's elbowing me. Or he's like, hey, your waist is way too close to my waist. Could you back up a little? And I'm like, I'm not tall enough. So anyways, yeah. Oh yeah. Look, hey, be quiet, dude. All right. Or I'll wear a GoPro down there. All right. So listen. So the key to this, right, Squatch Man. Now you said you have not seen lights, but you've heard reports of lights associated with Sasquatch, correct?
Everyone has.
Everyone, right? Well, here is a light with a Sasquatch in the same picture. Tell me where in the world you're
crazy.
Tell me where in the world you're gonna see that.
It was a great catch.
What's that?
An amazing photo.
Thank
really
you so
is.
much. Well, but again,
It is amazing.
That's collective. That's all you guys. That's Shawn Kelly having us on and talking about things and checking in with us, see where we're at.
Actually, Rich, that's a steady hand. That's what got that photo.
No, that's an Android. He's only a fire builder. He don't have a steady hand.
Yeah.
Dude, I got an Android. It's like one of the best picture.
That's right.
Best camera. Hey,
That's right.
Dude, stop. Best camera in the world. Best camera in the world. Absolutely. I'll give you bar none. The iPhone 17 is catching up, but you have a computer in your hand on an iPhone. That's a tablet that you hand your kids. That's a totally different game. Totally different game when it comes to actual stuff inside of it. But for taking pictures, me and Wojo have become such a great team, dude. We know what we know what the other guy's going to say before we say it, right, Woj? How many times we look at each other and just go, "Yeah, you're going to say it, aren't you?" Right? We've said, "Huh? How many times, dude?"
Too many.
What?
What do you mean by that? Yeah, right there, bro.
Yeah.
But
Listen,
but that's it right there, right?
yeah, I mean, because again, when we're dealing with out in these woods, okay, you know, us humans, okay, on an intelligent level, I always say this on a scale, okay, that we're like an 11. And then you have like the dolphins and the orcas who are very smart mammals. They would be like a 13. What we're dealing with here is like in the 20s. I mean, bar none.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just unbelievable super humans.
Hi.
And yes, Elder. It's just that you're growing. We're pulling off layers of an onion here that we've been doing for 2.5 years. And the thing is that it all starts out being in the woods, have an open mind. Not everything is Bigfoot. And then you find like some tree structures. And then we found a chair in the middle of the woods that we started gifting and having a sacred gifting chair. And then we're finding footprints, size 17 by 7, 14 by 7.5. And so, yeah, we are married.
Hey, mind your business.
but my point is that we're going on different levels because, some of you people out here want to know the whole shebang. It doesn't happen like that. We can't tell you everything all in one show or all in like 5 shows. It's going to take, it takes such a long time to continue to take data, to keep taking pictures, to keep having lives, and listen to you folks on the side as critical thinkers and other researchers. Squatch Man, the Vogel brothers. I mean, heck, we have like tree structures everywhere. I use my friend from the University of Georgia who works in the forestry department, and I constantly send him a lot of these pictures and things that are unnatural. And he's like, "Wojo, all my years being out in these woods, I've never seen pictures what you're showing." So we're not just sitting here going, "Yeah, we know it all." No, we got other resources, man. And not only that, thank God we have, the Native Americans that have been helping us out too. Ernie DeVoe, Elder Medicine Bear Claw, TKB, Tennessee Bigfoot Research. Kentucky Research. We utilize others, and that's the thing because everything's a layer. And now where we are now is that they're really revealing themselves. They reveal themselves with the lights, and we hear them around us in the daytime. They're whistling, they are whooping, they are clicking, they are mouth popping, and you hear the little whoop, whoop. You're hearing the little guys out in the woods. Now, I ain't going to call them little guys because it sounds like little puppies out there. And I think what they're doing is teaching the young ones to hang out with us.
Well, how to do it, and because we're safe to practice with.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I mean,
That is
what do you think of that, Squatch Man?
I love this picture, dude. I love this picture.
Oh, you're going to see a lot of it.
I love
You're
it.
See a lot. It deserves that, But Squatch,
Hey guys, the stuff to the left of the face, is that branches?
We assume those are breaks and branches, and it's part of what I want to use to find out where we're going to. So,
Right.
yeah, some of it just kind
of branches and distance.
Yeah, like an Apple phone would have picked it up, but the Android didn't for some reason.
Right.
No, that's why it's there. The Android did pick it up.
Hey, Android, you can't beat them, man. I love my Android.
You can't beat the camera. Stop talking. What are we doing? An Android commercial? Come on, move it along. Thank you to my moderators. By the way, we had a
Oh yeah,
we had a wandering soul out there. We want to pray for the young man. We hope that you get better, and hopefully your captives let you out of the basement soon, and the lint falls out of your belly. So,
okay, I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions here. Richie, thank you so much for sharing those pictures, dude. They were like freaking awesome.
And Wojo too. They're his, and I don't do.
And Wojo, I'm sorry,
without
Wojo.
him knowing. I don't do nothing without him knowing, and everything has his name on it. This is
the best photographer in the world.
You're not bad. You don't have a steady hand, though.
I went to my AI here. Well, I love my AI. And
All right, what are you doing? What?
The biggest question is, why have we never found a body, a skeleton, or fossil of a creature this large?
I'm gonna let the Vogels and Squatch Man handle this one because I'm gonna throw up.
They
on the
do have
microphone.
bodies, man.
Yeah, thank you, Squatch Man. Good, Mr.
They got
Vogel.
bodies.
I just want to say one thing. I want to remind Tim of one thing: a dare on the ice that you watched decay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
How fast?
Yeah, just giving Mother Nature her own resources. Yeah. We had a 100-pound doe get splayed out on the lake, all quartered out, and the coyotes got her, and she was gone within 4 days. Between the birds and the critters, there was nothing left. The hair, the fur, or the hair, even the blood was licked clean off the ice. There was nothing. It took
That's
4 days.
on ice. On ice.
Gone.
That's
gone.
on ice. No acidic pine needles, nothing.
Right. If you add the summer heat and the bugs and the worms and the whatnots, the earth will consume it in no time. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I love that example.
Mother Nature is incredible. Yeah,
do they believe they bury
the heat for these
do
things?
They bury their dead?
Mother Nature will eat it if it's out there, especially if it's in the winter. Because in the winter, it's a hardship.
All right.
So they're going to eat whatever's available.
He's got another AI question. Hang on.
I got another AI question. Do you believe they bury their dead, or is it possible they are not a flesh and blood animal, but something else?
Elder Medicine.
Well, I've thought that, but I think that if that's the case, and I don't think they bury them, and I don't think they put them in a cave or any of that. What's to say that they don't turn around and take their dead and go into another portal, go into another dimension, and bury them somewhere else?
Put them right there with you, Eric. I'm right there with you. I believe it.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of Native American lands where we are. I'm only to speak for our area. I'm not going to speak for like everything around the world. But I mean, I believe that they do bury in the burial grounds where first of all, we are so deep in the woods. You're not going to find it. You might find there might be mounds of dirt and whatever that you just like walk over them. You're not even thinking of anything. But you know what? I wouldn't doubt that they do bury in their area, in their native lands, or so on and so forth. But again, that's my belief.
Where the researching part comes in.
Yeah, I mean, but you have people like elders saying, they bury it back to Mother Earth, and there's there's got to be
there's very good possibility. Why not?
There's some validity to that. These aren't just stories around a campfire.
No,
to them it's documentation. And we need to understand that and try to, as researchers, dive into that and have that conversation. And you got to understand too, when you have the conversation with somebody, this is the other reason why you don't do, crap all over your researchers, your fellow researchers, because you don't know them half the time. You see them on a screen, you're basically doing a text message with a picture. That's all this is. But you got to have that conversation with them and understand them. And I've had conversations with Elder, and I've had conversations with other elders, and we've had great conversations. And what that person in front of me is telling me is their history. It's not just a story around a campfire. So I believe, and Eric, I think that's a brilliant deduction. I've never even thought of that, and I've stepped into the dimensional type stuff. But to think about that, to get them totally gone like that, that's a great idea. And did they evolve further since the times that the elders speaking up to where you're talking? Could both things possibly be right? Well, we don't 100% know because we haven't seen them. I haven't seen him go across into a portal and get dropped. I haven't seen him get buried. But great, this is what discussion does. Respectful discussion. Yes. This is what it does,
Yes, it does. Okay, go ahead. What are your thoughts on wood knocks and howls? Have you recorded anything that cannot be explained by known animals?
Yes. There's been numerous knocks recorded.
Many things. Yeah, many things. Those are my two favorite things. I love being the idiot in the woods with the wood knocker and the big mouth. Woo, woo, woo. I don't give a shit. I'm doing whatever I can, man. I do not care. This summer, I'm wearing a Speedo, and I'm gonna put.
Man.
I'm gonna bass up.
No.
Don't even think of that.
I'm becoming one with Mother
God.
Earth just because you guys don't have the guts to do it. All right.
Oh my God!
I'm
No,
down to
Speedo.
197 pounds. Look at
Man, I
Squatch,
gotta
man.
wash
Look at
my
Squatch,
eyes out with Clorox.
Look at Squatch, man. He's gonna
Oh,
throw up. I can
jeez.
see it. I saw a little.
Oh my
regurgitation
God!
going
Gross.
on. Hey, I'm
Yeah,
willing to do whatever it takes.
Squatchman, do you get a lot of the wood knocks and obviously communications like that in your area?
I do get a lot of wood knocks. I get a lot of whoops. I get a lot of owl sounds all at one time. You know, they can mimic any sound to man. They can mimic you. They can mimic any voice.
100%.
100%.
100%. And
Yeah,
we even have a recording of one walking up to the gifting chair, and there was a bird, but we could hear him walking, doing their routine.
I've got a bunch of recordings of them speaking to me on my where I'm at. I've got a lot of them, man.
Oh, I bet. And the recordings are great. Aren't the recordings fun though? Don't you get excited?
I have one. Yeah, I get excited because that means they acknowledging me. They let me in their zone.
Yes.
I have one that I actually recorded on another phone that I kept. Everybody keeps asking me what they sound like. Only thing I can tell you, if you have actually heard a Squatch speak, it sounds like you playing a cassette tape fast forward.
Oh shit.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh shit.
Because I got it recorded like
did
3 different times.
That? Dude, did he just say that?
I said it. What's up?
Yeah.
I'll show you what's up.
Oh yeah, we'll show you what's up.
Hey, no.
I will show you 100% what is up. It has not been released yet, but you are welcome to sit in my studio.
I don't publish none of my personal stuff like that. I don't share none of my personal stuff like that, but I have an extra room in my house, man, where I have gifts and
all right, I'll come stay with you, bro.
Come on.
But no, seriously, on a serious note, that's exactly how I described what we have on recording, dude.
That's what it sounds like, bro.
I'm just glad you didn't age yourself and call it an 8-track.
Oh no. No. Hey, I've had it when I was a kid, but come on, no, it's a cassette tape. Yeah.
Dude, you nailed it.
Okay.
I felt like you were gonna say that. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna say that.
Damn it, boy.
That's amazing.
Here is
Wojo
the number one question that I'd like to ask every one of them. Every one of you guys.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not single. Oh, that's not the question.
How do you respond to skeptics who say it's all a hoax or misidentification? And I will go with Tim Vogel and Eric Vogel first on that.
Yeah, please.
Fucking ignore him, man.
That's it. Yeah. Maybe at one point it was, you needed to, people need to get out there and say, yeah, it's real. I think once you had your experience and it doesn't matter what people say. Here we are doing a show. We've done conferences and libraries and festivals and share our stories so we could give a crap less what people think.
Exactly, brother. Amen.
Our story.
Take them out in the woods. Take them out in the woods, and as soon as it gets dark, they're gonna run for the damn truck. Yeah.
I'll be the first one to run to the damn truck. I'll be the first one to run to the damn truck.
Oh, come on, Shawn.
Yeah, with your hush puppies on.
Yep, right? That's what we do. We tell them our story, and
we just tell you what happened to us, whether you believe it or not.
Exactly.
We're not out there to change your mind.
Yeah.
Because most of the people you're not going to change anyways.
Yeah.
No, not true believers, brother. Not true believers.
It used to get to us when we first started, but it was like, doesn't even faze us now.
In a couple of weeks, I'll be going up into New York State by the Finger Lakes, and I've got a training I'm doing up there. And one of our training conversations is going to be a Bigfoot conversation.
No way.
There's going to be 12 or 15 different rangers from different parts of the Northeast. So it's a great opportunity. We cover thousands and thousands and thousands of acres.
Oh my God.
A lot of stories. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, y'all can protect me when we go into the woods because I live in the city.
There you go.
Yep. But Wojo, how about you, brother?
Well, you know what? It's too easy to like just say "f you" and walk away. No, that's not like that. My thing is this: then if you don't believe in Bigfoot, then you tell me why there is no Bigfoot. Kind of like, all right, then you have Bigfoot over here, you have God over here. Sorry, I have to put this out there, but you know what? You tell me why there's no Bigfoot, and why there's no God. Well, you know what? Without listening to your friends or anybody and stop like being on the computer, think to yourself, how often do you go in the woods, and how often have that open mind on both actually. So my thing is this: put your boots on, go out in the woods, you know what, and keep that open mind. And that day, you know what, if there's nothing out there, there's nothing out there, but at least you've done your research on Bigfoot. Over here is God. All right, there's a lot of people that don't believe in God. That's fine, but here's the Bible. Talks about God's, word. Talks about our everyday life. It's not saying you have to believe in God. Well, here's the book. Here's the Bible. Go read the Bible. Do your research. Don't listen to others. Don't listen to your friends or anything. You tell me why there is no God and there is no Bigfoot, and then we can go from there.
You got an interesting point there, Wojo.
He's an interesting fellow.
Yes,
Very
he is.
interesting point. A lot of people say, well, I don't believe in God. Well, a lot of people say, I believe in him, but I haven't seen him, but I believe in him.
Yep.
Same thing in the Sasquatch field. I haven't seen him, but I definitely believe in him.
Right. Of course. Good answers, guys.
Exactly.
I swear at him, and then my moderators kick him out before I get myself in trouble.
I bet you do,
But,
Rich.
but you know what? On both Squatch, man, you're checking on your faith. You're checking your faith of you as a person on your researching. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have good and bad. There's no gray area. You can't pick the middle.
No, it's one or the other, man. It's one or the other.
Right and wrong. Live which way you're gonna live.
Exactly.
Yep.
I teach my kids, all 83 of them.
All 83. Okay, what was your personal aha moment that made you go from curious to a dedicated researcher? Richie B, we'll go with that one.
Oh, me? Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Sorry. The others were talking to me. For me, it was when I was the story of how I was raking around my fire pit, and I had years of activity out back, walking around, breaking, and then, and then it happened at night, and I didn't see a headlamp, and so on and so forth. And then on this beautiful clear day, I'm out there raking around my fire pit, and a little ways away, there's an opening on my game trail area. I own 3 acres, and it abuts 94 acres of conservation in the Bridgewater Triangle. And 1.1 miles out, there's this body of river, major riverway, excuse me. And I hear this one pull, big snap, and my face goes to the sound like this, and then all of a sudden I see this oak tree or elm tree, whatever it is, came flying down. It didn't just like fall; it had no reason to fall, it had no reason to break. It was fresh, and it just came crashing to the ground. And then I grabbed my phone. I go, "Come on, where you at?" Because I've been dealing with this for a long time, and I got growled at from this thicket, about 12-foot high thicket, a little ways from the game charge. Kind of came through the thicket. And I'm looking around for him and everything else. And I had footage, I guess, for a long time, 6 years or so. That was 2019. I dealt with it for years before that. But this really was the aha moment where I became a researcher. I brought it to Wojo's like 4 or 5 months back or whatever it was. And we had an update on my phone. And I was showing his roomie, Darren, a member of the research team. And I said, "Oh, look at this. We got new buttons to play with." And I started playing with this button. And Wojo come over. And we had both phones kind of zooming in. He's like, "Dude, look at that." And there it was. There was a silhouette, conical head, shoulders, everything. And he was in that thicket. And that's where I got growled from. And that was my aha moment, added to by 6 years later being able to see him. And I got to tell you, it was emotional for me because it was validation. And I just like seeing this picture, same thing. It's just a form of validation, and it's emotional,
How about you, Squatch Man? When was your aha moment? When was your aha moment that made you from curious to like, I'm going to do this?
Man, me and my brother used to poach gators in the swamp back home in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, and we had a 14-foot boat that was loaded, and we pulled up to the bank. We probably had 10 or 12 on there. We thought we was going to sink, But we lived in a swamp. I grew up in a swamp, man. Ain't nothing at night scares me. I pulled up on the bank. My brother he was from Vietnam. So he always rolled his cigarettes. Rolled him a cigarette, got out, and he heard a tree break, and he took off. I'm standing here at the tree holding the damn rope. I never heard from him again. Never. You can hear a gnat part in the swamp at 1,000 yards if you ever been in a swamp at night, and never heard from him. Next sound I heard was whatever it was. I'm standing by the tree, and 4 feet behind me, something hit the back of the boat in the water, and I turned around, and it was probably, I don't know, man, it was huge. The back of the boat was probably in 4 feet of water, and it was barely to his knees. And he stopped and turned around and looked at me and walked straight across the fucking swamp and got to the other side and howled and took off. And I'd say that'd be that'd be interesting.
Okay. How about you, Wojo?
That's all.
Well, it started that I see Richie having a podcast, and so I called Richie and I said, "Hey, what's this podcast all about?" And he said, "Oh, I got Bigfoot in my backyard." I've always been intrigued with Bigfoot, paranormal, UFOs, and all that. And when he said Bigfoot, I'm like, "Get the frig out of here." He goes, "No, seriously, I do." And I've known Richie for like over 25 years. Like we played men's softball with and against each other, but we're just like associate friends. And then he said, "Yeah, I'll take you out to my backyard sometime." Well, the next day, Richie calls me up. He goes, "Listen, my producer got sick. Would you like to go on an investigation with me out in Central Mass?" I said, "You know what? I want to see what you're seeing." So I went out there with him, and you try to have that open mind. You go, going through the woods and whatever, and then I started noticing like strange tree structures. I'm finding these twists, these 90-degree angles, but they're twisted. And I'm looking around. I'm like, what caused this? Because there's no other trees around. And then you see one after another after another. And then I'm noticing highways of deer tracks going towards these power lines. And Richie and we went with a brother and sister. He was with the sister about 30 yards away. And he's like, "Yeah, we got one of those over here." So we're seeing these 90-degree angles. It's almost like it's like a Coke bottle. It's like a cone. I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, man, if I'm at the very end of these cones towards the power lines, and I'm a hunter, and if I was a Bigfoot, there's like these high rocks with these pine trees, and there's lower pine trees to my right. To me, it's like I got you. It's like an ambush. And so as we went on, we were talking, and I'm noticing that some of the woods was limped like this. And I'm like, geez, I never seen pine trees looking like that. So as Richie was talking, I didn't say nothing. And then he's like, "Hey, what's that?" I go, "Ha, I've been seeing the same thing." I was so excited that he saw it, jumped into the woods, and we found 4 of these large huts. We're over like almost 3 miles into the woods in the middle of nowhere. And you see on 3 sides these large huts, like over like 7 feet tall, like 6 feet high. I found that very unnatural. And it's very strange to see that in the middle of the woods. Because if there were kids, first of all, why would they build that in the middle of nowhere where there's no campfire, there's no beer bottles, there's no cigarettes, there's no food wrappers anywhere? I did find a deer shed about 30 feet away. I'm like, if I was a Bigfoot, shelter. And that's where, ever since then, from that day on, I've been going out with Richie ever since, and never had one bad investigation.
Awesome.
And that's the rabbit hole.
Tim and Eric, when was your aha moment?
The day I saw it. There you go. The day I saw it, 40 yards away. I would say that I was there looking, but I never thought I would see it, and I was still a skeptic. And when I turned and it was there, That changed everything because I knew what I was looking at, and it was, yeah. The day I saw it was the oh moment for me.
Okay. And Tim?
Yeah, after seeing it, but we had a wilderness canoeing experience out in the New York State that kind of get us down that path, and that brought us to Ohio, where we went to the Ohio Bigfoot Conference, and kind of when we sat down, we were sitting there having breakfast with Bob Gimlin. He shows up, he walks over, sits down with us, and starts having a conversation with us. Mostly we were in the Navy, and we were talking about the Navy. And then we talked about Patty and Bigfoot and the whole deal. And that was my whirlwind moment where I knew I literally was off the deep end. I'm sitting here talking with Bob Gimlin about Bigfoot. And that was, there's a couple, I don't know, a couple more 100 people in the, in the place. They're all there for Bigfoot. And it was just kind of surreal to see that many people involved and interested at that level about Bigfoot. So that's kind of when I knew, at least when I was off the deep end.
And he picked us two out of everybody that was sitting there to come over and have coffee, just sit and talk. It was wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Well,
Shawn, I want to quickly
got...
add real quick. The Vogel brothers, they are our brothers. And we, both times we went up to their place, they came down to our place.
That's
we all
cool.
found together
And that's
footprints.
that's how it works. That's how it works. But we're getting close to the witching hour, dudes. We got about 8 minutes left. So
Hey, Shawn.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, you got that picture of that friend I sent you?
Yeah, but I can't figure out on how to put it up there, buddy. But when I'm sorry about that, but that print was pretty good. And then he has another picture he sent me today. I'll send it to Richie and him, where I guess when SQUATCH was saying, he got disrespect, they figured they got disrespected. There's actually a pole. No shit, guys. There's a pole that went right through his windshield. I'll send you.
Oh, you talking about the trees?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about the trees, huh?
Whatever came through that window, your front window.
Wow.
Oh, well, I sent you two of them.
Okay. It's crazy.
Yeah, I sent you two of them. One of them, I took a friend of mine up, and he wanted to go with me, and I told him, I said, man, I don't take nobody with me, ever. I always go by myself, and he kept on, so I took him. We got about 100 yards in, and I heard a scream, and I knew exactly what it was. And then we heard something sound like a bulldozer. I turned around, we run back to the truck, and there's trees 12 feet long through the windshield, through the sides of the truck. I mean, they demolished that truck. And the next one, the one you talking about with the pole through the windshield on the driver's side, that was when I went back trying to get their trust back, and I went back, and that was my answer to that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, guys? I'm going to send you guys the pictures right after the show. It's like crazy. But listen, we got about, So thank you for all being on tonight. This was a great 2-hour show. And
Man, we need it longer, man. We need it longer.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Richie, man. You're sleeping over there, Rich. You sleeping?
I was doing good. Yeah, I doze in and out that way. Everybody else talks.
You know what?
I knew he calmed down for a minute.
Vogel started it in the first half of the show, to be fair. You know what I mean?
Damn it.
So
I can't take y'all nowhere.
What's watching? I know that.
Before we go, everybody, starting with Wojo, how can they find you? And I know you got a YouTube show and your Facebook account. How can people get a hold of you?
Yes, you'll find my show on Home of the Boom on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Richie B Podcast Network on YouTube, X, Instagram, you name it.
Okay. Tim? Eric?
The Vogel Brothers on Facebook. the Cobble Mountain Critter Project on Facebook or the website, Cobble Mountain Critter
Yep,
Project.
Vogel Brothers on Instagram.
Yeah.
When I can get on it.
And we'll be out in Fulton, New York at the Big Fest in a couple of weeks on the 18th of April, I believe, in Fulton, New York. And then in May, we're down in Virginia doing some squatching down there. And right now, it's mud season's kind of finishing up for us. So we're just now getting into the woods,
Right,
into the deep woods.
into our one of our good
Thank you,
spots.
Pam.
Yeah, so we're spending more time in the woods.
And how about you, Mr. Squatch Man? How they can find
Man,
you?
Facebook, I got a group called the Elusive Ones.
Yep. Sure does.
Okay. So, and Richie, save the best for last.
Yeah.
How can they get a hold of you, Rich?
You mean the most for last. Sorry about that. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and X, all banter with Richie B, Bigfoot banter with Richie B. We have our own podcast network as well, the Banter with Richie B podcast network. All I was gonna do is link up to my YouTube, and you'll see all the other podcasts come up on their nights. And other than that, I just want to point out, I want everybody to go over to Prayers for Ella on Facebook. Ella's Army. Please go over there and donate. It's pediatric cancer awareness. I need you to go check that out. We have a good friend of ours who's part of our research team, and him and his family put on a fundraiser, a 501c in the state of Massachusetts, and they write checks basically to families that are dealing with their child having cancer as they lost their beautiful daughter, Ella. So I just want to say I love you, baby Jack. I love you, Mama. I see you, Ella. I want everybody to keep climbing.
All right, brother. Thank you. Again, thank you, gentlemen. And everybody in the
It's been
chat.
great.
Thank you. And I'm telling you, everybody in the chat room tonight, all of Richie B and Wojo's followers, all of Squatch's followers, thank you, and the Vogel followers, thank you for coming in and watching the show. Children, if
Thanks
you
for having
can,
us.
please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And
Absolutely.
parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And on that note, I just want to say thank you, everybody on the panel. And I'm just honored. I'm honored to be here with
Great
you guys.
show.
It's been
It
a
was
pleasure,
an awesome
gentlemen.
show.
I greatly appreciate it.
You too.
So
Mama.
everybody, good night. See you Tuesday night.